An amazing new survey shows just how popular paid family and medical leave is inside of the US, and that's great. But it also shows how wide of a gap there sometimes is between what people say they support and whether they prioritize it when choosing a politician, and that's what we need to talk about today. First of all, the poll shows 89% of Democrats, 76% of independents, 70% of Republicans. So that's a crazy number. 70% of Republicans support the establishment of a federal program that would enable people to take paid time away from work to attend to serious illnesses or provide care for loved ones, including sick or disabled family members and newborn or newly adopted children. Only 12% of voters are opposed to that, which is the lowest level of opposition to a policy that perhaps I have ever seen in my life. Combined, 80% of voters want this policy, which we don't have as a nation. Well, why is that? Well, this might be part of the reason. A majority, 52% of voters, including 68% of Democrats, would be more likely to vote for a candidate who supports this policy. In addition, over half of voters, including 65% of Democrats, would be more motivated to vote in the upcoming elections if Congress supported passing something like this. So those are still high numbers. It's still majority support. If this was a democracy, that would be important. But you'll notice the gap between those two numbers, between the people who want this change, who want this to be law, and the same people who will prefer a candidate who will actually pass it, or prefer a governing majority that plans to pass it. Isn't that fascinating, Cenk?
Yeah.
Why aren't those numbers the same?
Yeah, so there's two parts of the story that are amazing. Number one, if 80% of Americans want something and only 12% are opposed, and we don't have it, do we really live in a democracy? I'm not being glib, I'm being very literal. 80% is easy. In a real democracy, functioning democracy, super easy. That passes first day. No, there's no argument, there's no debate, it wins easy. Remember, 70% of Republicans want it. Of the Republican voters, 0 Republican senators want it, 0. Isn't that weird?
That's weird.
Why would, in a democracy, if 70% of your voters want it, why wouldn't you do it? Because your donors told you not to. Our politics and our government is 100% corrupt. How many people in mainstream media tell you these super obvious facts? It's not at all subtle. No, they're literally buying our politicians. They're bribing them into making sure they do not help you. And right wingers, this is a rare thing where we're on the same goddamn side. You want the paid family leave too, you know why? Because after your wife has a kid, you don't want to go back into the mines, back at Walmart the next day, are you nuts? John's about to show you the numbers that other countries get. Actually developed countries, not like the banana republic that we live in, under goddamn corporate rule, and you hate corporate rule. So why is every single Republican politician saying, I love it, I love corporate rule, I don't want you to have paid family leave, screw all my voters? Why don't you do an uprising over that? Why are you letting Tucker Carlson distract you with, oh, there's a trans person in high school, oh my God, the Dr. Seuss books, are you? No, this is the thing that actually affects your life. Okay, so that's obvious, and everyone in media that doesn't point out that these politicians are being bribed are liars and totally useless. In fact, they're counterproductive. They're trying to brainwash you into believing that these are honest people and they're having honest debates, okay? So turn off corporate media, they're trash. Okay, so now, the second part of it. But that rant goes into explaining the second part, John, which is, well, wait a minute, we got 80% saying, yes, I definitely want it, and only 52% saying I'll vote based on it. Why? Because the minute you put a trigger word, the right wing is out. Like in the case of paid family leave, they haven't even bothered coming up with one because Democrats are liars. The Democratic politicians, they don't want it either. Here, I can prove that instantly. Because right now, there's still some Democratic ass kissers that exist in the world, right? And they'll be like, oh, Cenk, 48 senators are ready to do it. It's just the 2 senators. Oh, we gotta get more Democrats in, okay? Well, why don't you just do a standalone bill right now? And at least embarrass Manchin and Sinema and say, hey, you know what? You give me 2 more senators, we don't need these 2 sons of bitches, and we'll get you paid family leave. The reason they don't do that, because they're not gonna give you paid family leave, even if you give them 2 more senators or 12 more senators. Because they also are corrupt. They get bribed. Nancy Pelosi's taken nearly $1 billion in bribes. Oh, I'm sorry, people from ExxonMobil who mean really well for the world gave it to her, probably to do charity. Okay, that's Isn't it insane that Washington, D.C. reporters believe that? Isn't that insane? Okay, so all you gotta do is to put in a buzzword. The Republicans put in a buzzword. Oh, what you gotta do, give welfare state. Welfare state. Yep. And every right winger will think, oh, it's going to black people. No, I vote no. I vote no. That's the thing I just told you, and you said you wanted. Yeah, but I heard a buzzword, so I'm out. Okay.
Like, you're totally right, and it can be even stupider than that. Literally, the last time there was a national conversation about instituting paid family leave, the right wing started talking about how Pete Buttigieg is going to chest feed his babies. That was their response to it. And the right wing ate it up. They bought it, and they, I guess, no longer want this policy because the main gay guy, I guess, has kids or something. I don't even know. But that was enough. Lauren Boebert and Laura Ingraham and all of them started talking about it. Tucker Carlson makes a joke, and then all of these people decide that after conservatives, after they have a child, get back into the mines the next day. They're okay with that, as long as they got to own Pete Buttigieg along the way or something.
No, that's a perfect example. And I guarantee you, if paid family leave comes back in the next term of Congress, all Tucker Carlson has to say is the same line. And every right winger will be like, oh yeah, paid family leave. So Buttigieg can breastfeed the kid, right? Let's go back to the mines and make $7.25. Our life is miserable, but that's awesome as long as I get to make fun of someone I hate more. Okay, so right wing has figured that out. And the Democrats have figured out, oh, the media is totally on our side. We just tell them to lie for us, and then they lie for us. Hey, Jake, why don't you, of course, Jake Tapper, classic, he's the perfect guy for, you know what he's gonna say, right? If they go to vote for it. How are you gonna pay for that? How are you gonna, money to Ukraine, war, never asked it. $2 trillion in tax cuts, never asked it. They're going to the rich, no. Well, money to Israel, never asked it. How are you gonna pay for that? Iron Dome, whatever, I like Iron Dome. How are you gonna pay for that? Nope. A paid family leave that 80% of Americans want. How are you gonna pay for that, huh? So you have corporate media and right-wing media that constantly work together in tandem to kill incredibly popular proposals and lie to you and pretend that they're not popular. So just, you've gotta wake up, It's not just Fox News, it's also MSNBC and CNN that are brainwashing voters in this country to clearly vote against their own interests. Yes, definitely including Democratic voters.
Agreed.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.